So, Garcelle, you said you don't believe Dorit is racist, but you do believe she's an unconscious Karen. The difference being just unaware, just not. I feel like the word attack just seemed unnecessary for me saying no, no, no. Why? You're just trying to embarrass her. She called herself the truth teller of Beverly Hills. Guys, did you miss what Erica said to Garcelle's son, the 14-year-old, to go off? I was there. I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny. But behind the smile and victim act is a trail of lies, hypocrisy, and shady moves. Fans once crowned her the queen. But today, many say Garcelle Beauvais is no better than the women she loves to attack. This is the shady truth about Garcelle Beauvais. When Garcelle Beauvais first stepped into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she wasn't just another cast member joining the chaos. She was marketed as the glamorous outsider, the breath of fresh air who was too classy to stoop to the petty drama. Viewers were told she was different, more refined, and certainly less problematic than the women who had already been fighting on screen for years. But this wasn't some natural coincidence. It was a carefully curated image built to make Garcelle instantly likable and, more importantly, untouchable. From the very beginning, Garcelle leaned on her Hollywood background as a model and actress, reminding audiences of her time on The Jamie Foxx Show and her role in Coming to America. These credits weren't just part of her resume, they were her shield. She framed herself as an accomplished professional among silly reality stars, deliberately separating herself from the women she was supposed to be equal with. Insiders whispered this wasn't just a coincidence, but a calculated move. After years of being on the edges of Hollywood, Garcelle saw Bravo as her stage to relaunch her brand. And she knew how to play the part of America's sweetheart to perfection. The truth is, Garcelle didn't climb into the role of fan favorite by accident. She positioned herself as the observer, the woman who stood on the sidelines delivering commentary, always ready with a shady one-liner, but rarely putting herself in the firing line. It was the safest strategy possible: get the laughs, win the applause, and dodge the real accountability. And for a while, it worked. Producers loved having a voice of reason, and fans fell into the trap of seeing Garcelle as the calm in the storm. But behind that polished image, Hollywood insiders tell a very different story. Garcelle had long been whispered about in industry circles for diva-like behavior and a habit of burning bridges with co-stars. On screen, she was the charming, grounded star, but off-screen, she had a reputation for being difficult and self-serving. The duality wasn't new. It was simply perfected once she entered the Bravo universe. Because make no mistake, Garcelle wasn't just another housewife. She was an actress playing her biggest role yet, crafting the illusion of being the one woman you could trust in a sea of villains. But like any performance, it was only a matter of time before the mask started to slip and the shady truth began to show. On the surface, Garcelle Beauvais sells herself as the voice of reason, the level-headed woman who doesn't get messy. But the irony is that while she avoids screaming matches on camera, she's one of the biggest puppeteers pulling strings behind the scenes. Insiders and fellow housewives have often hinted that Garcelle's true skill isn't staying out of drama. It's orchestrating it so she never has to get her own hands dirty. Think about it. Garcelle rarely launches a storyline herself. Instead, she nudges, plants seeds, and lets others carry the weight. She whispers her opinions in confessionals, positioning herself as just observing while pushing the narrative that certain cast members are shady, manipulative, or untrustworthy. It's a subtle strategy carefully designed so the audience sees her as a truth-teller rather than the instigator she really is. This is classic reality TV manipulation, but Garcelle has perfected it to a fine art. For example, when Sutton Stracke gets into explosive confrontations, Garcelle is often right there encouraging her, backing her up, and quietly steering the fight without being the one in the line of fire. It's a win-win for Garcelle. Sutton becomes her loyal soldier while she gets to stay above the fray, gaining brownie points with fans for her supportive friend role. Yet, anyone watching closely can see the dynamic. It's not loyalty, it's strategy. Garcelle knows Sutton is easily wound up, and she exploits that to keep herself relevant while dodging direct conflict. Behind the cameras, producers and crew have reportedly noticed Garcelle's habit of controlling conversations, redirecting storylines, and ensuring the spotlight lands where she wants it. She isn't just going with the flow. She's actively playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. That's why she gets the edit she does. She knows how to give just enough to stay indispensable without risking her fan favorite status. But here's the shady truth. That kind of manipulation doesn't go unnoticed forever. Co-stars have grown frustrated with her two-faced approach, acting calm and diplomatic on camera while stirring the pot from the sidelines. Many Housewives fans, too, are starting to question if Garcelle is truly the real one she pretends to be, or if she's just as conniving as the women she critiques. The answer, if you dig beneath the surface, is obvious. Garcelle's calm exterior is her armor, and manipulation is her weapon of choice. If there's one card Garcelle Beauvais knows how to play better than anyone else on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it's the victim card. Time and time again, whenever she finds herself cornered or called out, she doesn't fight back with facts or accountability. She leans on sympathy. And make no mistake, it works because the audience is quick to defend her without noticing how carefully she crafts this narrative. From day one, Garcelle framed herself as the outsider, the lone black woman in a sea of Beverly Hills privilege. And while there's truth in that dynamic, Garcelle has weaponized it, turning every critique into a bigger statement about exclusion or unfair targeting. Did someone question her loyalty? Suddenly, it's about race. Did a castmate push her too far in an argument? Suddenly, she's being bullied. By constantly painting herself as the underdog, Garcelle has been able to dodge accountability and silence criticism in a way her co-stars could never get away with. Her fan base buys into this narrative wholeheartedly, rallying to her defense whenever she cries foul. But here's the shady part. Behind the woe is me act, Garcelle is far from powerless. She's an experienced actress and media professional, perfectly aware of how to frame a story to win public sympathy. What fans often mistake as vulnerability is actually performance, carefully calculated moments designed to protect her image while putting her rivals in the worst possible light. Take her feud with Erika Jayne, for example. Garcelle positioned herself as the concerned friend, simply asking tough questions about Tom Girardi's victims. But in reality, she knew those questions would make Erika blow up and look unhinged. While Garcelle could sit back, calm and collected, appearing like the compassionate truth-teller, she reaped the rewards of looking empathetic, while Erika looked heartless. It was manipulation wrapped in victimhood, smart, but undeniably shady. And the tactic extends beyond the show. Whenever backlash surfaces online about her role in the drama, Garcelle deflects by highlighting personal struggles. Whether it's issues with her family or moments of exclusion, it keeps the spotlight off her shady maneuvers and squarely on her supposed struggles. She knows the Housewives audience loves an underdog story, and she milks it for all it's worth. But the cracks are starting to show. Viewers are beginning to question whether Garcelle is truly as vulnerable as she claims, or if she's weaponizing victimhood as the ultimate shield to cover her manipulation. And once fans start to see through the act, the sympathy that once protected her could quickly turn into resentment. For all of Garcelle's talk about honesty and accountability, the messiest part of her story has always been her family. And she's used it as both a shield and a storyline. From her highly publicized divorce to the drama with her sons, Garcelle's personal life has never been the picture-perfect family she tries to project. It started with her ex-husband, Mike Nyland, the Hollywood talent agent she exposed in one of the most infamous scandals of the early 2010s. Garcelle didn't just quietly divorce him. She blasted his cheating in a scorched earth email sent to his entire company. While many applauded her boldness, the move revealed just how far she's willing to go to humiliate someone when she feels betrayed. It wasn't about closure. It was about spectacle. Then came the fallout. As the divorce dragged on, Garcelle made sure to craft a public image of herself as the wronged wife, the mother fighting for her kids. But behind the scenes, the custody battles and financial disputes painted a much darker, messier picture. Garcelle wasn't just the victim. She was also fueling the fire, ensuring her story stayed in the press. And the drama didn't stop there. Her relationship with her sons has been a recurring theme on Rob. At first, fans saw Garcelle as the loving single mom juggling career and family, but cracks began to show. Her oldest son, Oliver, has been in and out of rehab, facing accusations of drug abuse, infidelity, and cheating scandals of his own. Instead of keeping the family struggles private, Garcelle has repeatedly allowed them to become part of her public storyline. Critics argue that she exploits her kids' problems for sympathy points while carefully positioning herself as the long-suffering mother. The public doesn't see a woman trying to protect her children. They see a woman who knows family drama sells. Even the moment when Oliver was dragged into Vanderpump Rules drama with Raquel Leviss, another Bravo scandal, felt suspiciously convenient for Garcelle's visibility. And let's not forget the constant undertone of bitterness she expresses toward her exes. Whether it's subtle digs in interviews or full-blown confessions in her memoir, Garcelle never lets the public forget her grievances. But instead of taking accountability for her choices in partners or how she handles conflict, she always leans into the victim role. She wants you to see a devoted mother. But the shady truth is this: Garcelle has turned her family chaos into a storyline. Divorce, custody battles, troubled kids. It's not just real life. It's reality TV gold. And she knows exactly how to cash in on it. If there's one role Garcelle has perfected on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, it's the victim. From the moment she joined the cast, she positioned herself as the one woman constantly misunderstood, constantly attacked, constantly forced to defend herself against a mean girl clique. But critics say this wasn't reality. It was strategy. Instead of truly integrating with the group, Garcelle leaned hard into playing the marginalized figure. She framed almost every disagreement as a personal attack, suggesting she was being ganged up on, excluded, or singled out because of who she was. It made for compelling television, but also gave her a ready-made excuse whenever she found herself cornered. When Erika Jayne screamed at her, Garcelle cried foul. When Lisa Rinna clashed with her, she painted it as a personal vendetta. Even small moments like Dorrit Kemsley questioning her comments at dinner were reframed into a bigger narrative of Garcelle being mistreated. Fans began to notice a pattern. Garcelle never seemed to be wrong. Everyone else was. The infamous drama involving her son's Instagram harassment only added fuel to the fire. While the attacks on her family were undeniably cruel, Garcelle used the moment to double down on her victim narrative, accusing the cast of not supporting her while simultaneously dragging the issue into the spotlight for maximum sympathy. Instead of resolving the situation privately, she amplified it, ensuring it dominated Bravo headlines. And let's not forget her constant jabs during reunions. Garcelle never hesitates to play the martyr, accusing her castmates of not seeing her or not listening. Yet, when she dishes out her own shade, whether it's mocking Erika's financial downfall or slamming Dorrit's lifestyle, she suddenly becomes defensive when the heat is turned back on her. To some viewers, Garcelle is brave for standing her ground. But to others, she's manipulative, playing the long game of public perception. By always leaning into the victim role, she ensures she stays above the mess while still keeping her hands dirty in it. On Bravo, everyone plays a character, but Garcelle's character is clear. The victim. The shady truth. It's the perfect disguise. She can throw stones, then cry when they're thrown back, and the audience eats it up. For years, Garcelle has carefully cultivated an image of being grounded, the humble, hard-working single mom who never forgot her Haitian roots. On camera, she often plays the voice of reason, shaking her head at the other housewives' obsession with money, status, and appearances. But peel back the curtain and you'll find a woman just as addicted to the spotlight and luxury lifestyle as the women she criticizes. Let's start with the Bravo paycheck. Garcelle wasn't exactly struggling when she joined Rob. She had steady acting gigs, small hosting jobs, and a career in Hollywood stretching back decades. But Housewives gave her something she hadn't had in years: relevance. Instead of just another working actress in supporting roles, Garcelle suddenly became the star of a multi-million-dollar franchise. And with that came the perks: designer clothes, glam squads, and a return to the kind of tabloid buzz she hadn't enjoyed since her Jamie Foxx sitcom days. But here's the hypocrisy. Garcelle constantly positions herself as above the fake Beverly Hills lifestyle, yet she leans right into it. She flaunts her designer bags, luxury vacations, and new ventures made possible only because of her housewives' fame. She'll criticize Erika Jayne for spending Tom Girardi's money while simultaneously cashing Bravo checks and using her platform to launch her own projects. It's the same machine, she just spins it differently. So, what do you think? Is Garcelle Beauvais the voice of reason Bravo desperately needs, or is she just as shady as the diamonds she wears? Drop your take in the comments below because this debate isn't ending anytime soon. If you loved diving into the drama, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more Housewives deep dives, and ring the bell so you never miss the next tea spill. Trust me, the storylines only get messier from here.